Hi, I'm Pam from the Hooked on Sewing blog. In this video tutorial, I'd like to show you how to sew an oven mitt with the finger and thumb pockets. First, let me say you'll find the full written tutorial and a pattern that you can download over on the Hooked on Sewing blog. I will leave a link to both of those in the description below. The first thing, of course, that you're going to do is to cut out your fabrics. Just follow along with the cut information in the pattern or the written instructions. And you're going to cut the fabric for the exterior of the oven mitt, 2 pieces. They can be the same fabric or you can do contrasting fabrics. And you'll also cut out fabric for the thumb portion and the finger portion of the oven mitt. Once you have your fabric pieces cut out for that, you'll also need to cut out fabric for the binding that will go around the perimeter of the oven mitt. And you'll also want to cut out the batting, the Insulbrite and the cotton batting for your oven mitt. So you'll cut 2 pieces of cotton batting that are 6 inches by 8 inches. And then you also need cotton batting for the pockets. Cut one of those 6 inch by 3 inch, or 2 of them 6 inch by 3 inch, and 2 at 6 inch by 3.5. That is the quantity you need for 2 oven mitts. And now I'm going to prepare my binding. I'm going to put some spray starch on it and then just simply press it in half. And then once I have that pressed, I'm ready to start sewing. So I have all my fabric, my front, my back, my pockets, my binding. These are the 2 pocket pieces for your thumb and your fingers, the binding, the Insulbrite, cotton batting, and cotton batting for the thumb and fingers for the pockets. First of all, we're going to quilt our pot holder front and back. So you'll lay down your quilt, the front of the fabric face down. Then you'll lay a layer of Insulbrite, a layer of cotton batting, and then a layer of your fabric right side out, or right side up. And then pin or clip those together, and then it's a matter of how you want to quilt these. I like to use my AccuFeed foot and a quilt guide bar with my sewing machine. So I'll make 1 stitch straight down using a stitch length of 3.5. And then I will use my guide bar to keep my stitches at an even width apart from one another. And I will do that all the way down the front of those 2 pieces. And then I will do the same thing with the pocket pieces. I'll take my cotton batting, put it inside on the wrong side of one of the pocket pieces, fold that fabric over top of the batting, and then quilt it just like I did the pot holder front and back. And now I'm going to quilt that for both the thumb pocket and the finger pocket. And now we're ready to attach all these pieces together. So I'm going to line up my edges. If you're using directional fabric, you will want the thumb pocket to be in the top of your oven mitt and the finger pocket to be in the bottom. For this pot holder, I use the same fabric front and back for the pot holder and a contrasting fabric for the pockets. I'm just checking my measurements to make sure I have everything lined up. Now I'm going to round my edges. I'm going to print out my template or my pattern and just make the markings on the fabric, and I'll use my rotary cutter to trim that up real well. I'm using a friction pin here. Once I press the fabric with an iron, the ink will disappear. I just love using these friction pins. And now I'm going to use my rotary cutter to round those corners. I'll do it on all 4 corners for each pot holder. Now remember, I have the pocket pieces clip to the pot holder front and back, and I'm rounding all of the corners at the same time. There we go. So use clips or pins to attach the pockets to the pot holder and to hold it in place while you stitch it. And I'm just going to stitch around it about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. That would just hold everything together while I put on the binding. And you will repeat this for the second pot holder. Now I'm making the marks for the thumb and the fingers, actually for the thumbs. I'm not going to do that for the fingers. And I make my marks. I'll leave the instructions for that in the directions. And I am just stitching, back stitching at the beginning and the end to secure my stitches. And then I'm attaching the binding. Now here I am putting the binding on the back of the pot holder and stitching it around 1/4 of an inch or so. Then I'm going to trim up that seam allowance, fold the binding over to the front, and stitch it close, maybe 1/16 of an inch from the edge, all the way around the pot holder. And there, the pot holder is done. You'll repeat this process for the second pot holder. I hope you found this video tutorial helpful. If you did, be sure to like it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please come visit me over on the Hooked on Sewing blog and sign up for my newsletter. Thank you.